Long ago, in the wealthy kingdom of Aloran, there was a princess named Adizwa, known across the lands for her breathtaking beauty. Her skin was smooth as river stones, her eyes shone like the evening stars, and when she walked, it was said that the ground itself wished to rise and meet her feet. But Adizwa was also known for something else, her pride. She refused every man who sought her hand in marriage. Prince Atakunal, a mighty warrior, came with gifts of gold and fine silk, but she scoffed, "Your hands are calloused and rough from war. I want a man of elegance." Olamide, a rich merchant's son, arrived with 100 cattle and baskets of jewels, but she turned her nose up. "You smell of sweat and hard work. I desire a man of noble blood." One by one, men came and went, each hoping to win her favor, only to be dismissed. Her father, King Adeyemi, watched with growing concern. "Daughter," he warned, "pride is a heavy burden to carry. One day, the gods may decide to humble you." But Adizwa only laughed. "I will marry when I find the perfect man." That day would come sooner than she expected, but not in the way she imagined. One evening, as the full moon cast a silver glow over the palace, a stranger arrived. He was tall, elegant, and dressed in flowing white robes that shimmered in the moonlight. His voice was deep and smooth like the river after a storm. His presence was commanding, his every movement graceful, as though he was born from the very fabric of the night. "I have come to ask for the hand of Princess Adizwa," he announced. The court fell silent. The stranger had no entourage, no gifts, no name. And yet, when he looked at Adizwa, her heart trembled for the first time. He called himself Abulumo. "Where is your kingdom?" the king asked, eyes filled with suspicion. "My land is far beyond the great forests," Abulumo said with a smile. "A place of eternal beauty, where the rivers never dry and the skies never darken." Adizwa, bewitched by his charm, agreed to marry him. The day of Princess Adizwa's wedding was like no other in the history of Oloran. From the break of dawn, the palace buzzed with excitement. The royal drummers began their rhythmic beats, their hands moving like lightning across the stretched animal skins of their drums. The air was thick with the sweet scent of burning incense, mixed with the aroma of roasted meats, jollof rice, and spiced palm wine being prepared for the thousands of guests. Nobles from neighboring kingdoms arrived in long processions, their horses draped in gold-embroidered cloths. Warriors, dressed in shimmering red and black garments, paraded through the city, raising their spears in honor of the princess. The villagers, eager to witness the wedding of their beloved princess, crowded the palace grounds, singing songs of joy and blessing. Inside her royal chamber, Princess Adizwa was being adorned by the finest women in the kingdom. Her geli head wrap was a towering masterpiece of royal purple and gold, shimmering under the sunlight that streamed through the palace windows. Her iro and buba, wrapper and blouse, were woven from the rarest osso oak fabric, embroidered with delicate golden threads that told stories of her ancestors. Her jewelry was beyond compare. Thick coral beads rested around her slender neck, heavy gold earrings adorned her ears, and silver anklets jingled softly as she moved. On her wrists, ivory bangles clinked together, a sound said to ward off evil spirits. The palace women sang praise songs as they dressed her, their voices rising in unison. "Adizwa, daughter of kings, light of Oloran, your beauty is like the moon, your grace like the river. May the gods bless your union and make you a mother of kings." Adizwa looked at herself in the polished bronze mirror, her reflection breathtaking. For the first time, she felt nervous. Something about this wedding felt unreal. But as soon as she locked eyes with Abulumo, standing tall and regal in his shimmering white robes, all her doubts faded. He was perfect. The ceremony. The wedding began in the grand courtyard of the palace, beneath an ancient baobab tree said to hold the spirits of the ancestors. The priests of Oloran, dressed in flowing white robes, stood in a circle, their staffs etched with sacred symbols. King Adeyemi, seated on his golden throne, gave his blessing. "May your union be fruitful, and may your hearts remain bound in love for all eternity." Abulumo smiled, his gaze intense as he took Adizwa's hands. His grip was cool to the touch, almost too cool, but she did not pull away. The elders chanted incantations, pouring libations of palm wine onto the ground to invite the spirits of their ancestors. Drummers beat out a hypnotic rhythm, and the women danced, their bodies moving like flowing rivers. Then came the bride price ceremony. Abulumo's messengers carried chests overflowing with gold, ivory, and rare fabrics. Cows and goats, fat and healthy, were led into the palace yard as gifts to the king. Even rare white kola nuts, symbols of longevity and peace, were presented. The court murmured in approval, No man had ever paid such a rich bride price. Finally, the wedding vows were sealed. Abalumo took a small cup of honey and gently fed it to Adizwa, a symbol of the sweetness he promised in their life together. Then with a dazzling smile he whispered, "Now, my love, it is time to go home." At dawn, Adizwa mounted a black horse and rode away with her new husband. They traveled deep into the great forest, past familiar paths and into unknown lands where the trees grew twisted and the air became thick with mist. Soon, the sky turned gray and the birds stopped singing. "Abalumo," Adizwa whispered, shivering. "Where are we?" "We are close," he replied, his voice unnaturally calm. The deeper they went, the more unnatural the world became. The trees bent in eerie shapes, and whispers echoed through the air though no one was in sight. The wind carried soft weeping, like distant voices mourning. Then at last they arrived. Before them stretched a village, but something was wrong. The houses were old and crumbling, yet no one repaired them. The streets were lined with figures, pale and silent, watching as they rode past. Adizwa gasped. None of them had feet. They floated, their faces blank, their eyes like empty sockets. Terror gripped her heart. "Abalumo, where are we?" Her husband turned to her, and his face changed. His warm, handsome features melted away, revealing a grinning skull beneath decayed flesh. His hands, once soft, became bony claws. "This is my home," he whispered, his voice now hollow and deep. "And you, my bride, belong to us now." Adizwa screamed and ran, but her feet barely touched the ground. The ghostly villagers surrounded her, whispering in eerie voices. "Proud princess, now you are one of us." She turned, trying to flee back into the forest, but the path was gone. There was only an endless stretch of mist. "No," she sobbed, turning back to Abalumo. "Please let me go." His skeletal smile widened. "You rejected every living man, seeking perfection. Now you shall rule the perfect land, one where no one changes, no one ages, and no one ever leaves." Then the world went dark. Back in Oloran, the king waited for news. Weeks passed, then months. No word came. One day, a group of warriors set out to find the princess. They searched the forests, crossing every river and every hill. Then one night they saw it. A village that was not on any map. A place where no birds flew and no fires burned. They stepped forward, calling out her name. But as they walked through the silent streets, they saw the villagers. Pale, floating, soulless. And then there she was. Princess Adizwa stood among them, her once radiant face now ashen and hollow. Her eyes, once filled with pride, were now filled with emptiness. One of the warriors, her childhood friend, stepped forward. "Princess, we have come to take you home." For a moment, she hesitated. Then, slowly, she opened her mouth and spoke. "I am home." Her voice was no longer hers. It was layered with the whispers of many voices, 1,000 souls speaking at once. The warriors ran. When they returned to Oloran, they spoke of the haunted village and the princess who could never return. From that day on, the people of Oloran knew. Pride is a dangerous thing. For if you reject all who love you, the one who comes last may not be of this world. To this day, elders warn young girls not to be too proud when choosing a husband. And sometimes, when the wind is still and the moon is full, villagers say you can hear weeping from the forest. A woman's voice calling for help. A voice that sounds like Princess Adizwa, but no one dares answer. Because once you hear the whispers of the dead, they never let you go.